right, friends, it's time to talk about everybody's favorite topic, metal, once again. But I have bad news, people. I've got some bad news. We're going to talk about something today that I know you guys don't like very much, which is women. Now, I want you to just hold on. Bear with me. I know that you guys like guitars and vinyl a lot more than you like women. Don't get triggered. Bear with me, because we're going to combine the two things today. We're going to talk about celebrity metalheads, some of which happen to be women. So stick around for the metal. I'll tell you what to do. I'm going to keep the photos of women to one part of the screen. And so whenever I show a picture of a girl, just cover your eyes, or maybe you could just pause the video, print out a picture of a guitar or maybe some Metallica vinyl or something. Whenever I have a picture of a girl on the screen, you can just cover that up, just hold it up over the screen. You'll feel your blood pressure drop and you say, okay, last thing I want to do is look at a picture of a girl. Give me some more of that Metallica vinyl. Yeah, or use the hand shield, whatever works for you. But today, we're going to talk about celebrity metalheads. And we're going to rank them on two dimensions here. On one axis here, we'll talk about how good their work is, meaning, whether they're an actor, musician, whatever it is, do they do good work or do they do bad work? On the other side of things, we'll talk about their taste, meaning their taste in metal. So let's get into it here. The first one I have, I think, is someone who is pretty well known, which is your man, Jim Carrey. You know him from Ace Ventura and The Mask, and my personal favorite Jim Carrey movie is Yes Man. I think that's what it's called. You may remember back in the 90s when in Ace Ventura Pet Detective, there was the scene with Cannibal Corpse. And my understanding is that the reason that they were in that movie is because he is actually a fan of Cannibal Corpse. And at the time, we didn't know. But then he went on Arsenio Hall, which was a very popular talk show back in the 90s. And apparently, he's legit.
Rocking out to the music. You like music, man?
I love music. I love every kind of music, but recently I've really started to get into this thrash metal music.
Isn't it crazy? Like, his face here...
really started to get into this thrash metal music.
His face here, it's wild. Like, he looks like a cartoon, doesn't he? Like, I'd sort of forgotten that he's actually, like, kind of brilliant at what he does.
I don't know, there's something about it, man, that I just can't let go. Great, it's great. There's this one band out that's called Napalm Death, and it's so hilarious. I mean, I listened to this album, I started listening to this album, and it was literally, I'm not exaggerating, that was it.
Well, I'm sorry, Jim. Napalm Death is a great band. Respect for putting Cannibal Corpse on the map, but you misgenred Napalm Death. They're not thrash metal. They're grindcore. Oh, God. I swear to God, if I ever see Jim Carrey, I'm going to punch him right in the fucking mouth, and I'll say, Jim, I've been wanting to give you that one for 30 years. How dare you misgenre Napalm Death? You fucking motherfucker. Metal is not a fucking joke, man. That's what I would say to him. But where does he belong on this list? I think good taste, Napalm Death, Cannibal Corpse, especially back in the 90s. That was pretty elite tier taste, I would say. And as far as 90s comedies go, would I choose to watch them these days? I don't know. But yeah, they were good movies at the time. So I'm going to put him over here in the good work, good taste category. That's where I think I'm going to put him. Okay, next up, we have Nicolas Cage, who apparently is a black metaler. Who knew? Nicolas Cage is a supportive black metal dad who loves Dark Throne and Satyricon. So his son is apparently in a black metal band. It says the actor's descent into darkness stems from Weston Coppola Cage, his son, who, according to Metal Injection, performs in the black metal band Eyes of Noctum as well as his solo project Alone. And what does Nicolas Cage think of all this? He's really appreciated that sort of music. Him and I have had a conversation about black metal before. At first he was like, what does it promote? And I just gave him an idea of what we're trying to do. And he said, well, that sounds very honest. And he's like, okay, Dad, I want to play this band called Burzum. So he asked if his dad likes any black metal. He likes Dark Throne and he likes Satyricon as well. Well, one of those bands is real black metal. The other band is Satyricon. That's what I think about it. I've never actually listened to this, but let's check it out. This is Nicolas Cage's son's black metal band called Eyes of Noctum. Let's check it out. I've never heard it. Sounds like Burzum so far. This is like PS1 RPG music. It's pretty bad. Okay. This is Lorna Shore. Yeah, blackened RuneScape core. It's not bad. It actually sounds more like Cradle of Filth, doesn't it? This is not black metal. That part sounds like Five Finger Death Punch or something. Now, as far as his father, he's had an interesting career. Nicolas Cage, I feel like, has been in, let's just say, he doesn't seem too picky about his roles. Here's this skit that I think sums up his career well.
All right, listen to me. You're Nicolas Cage. No one can ever take that away from you. But after The Sorcerer's Apprentice, Bangkok Dangerous, Knowing, Ghost Rider, Next, Wicker Man, you need to be a little bit more selective about your films, Nicky.
Okay, so his agent says you need to be a little bit more selective, Nick.
Selective, Gary?
All right, for example, this just came in today. I've got it right here. You'd be playing a prisoner who asks if he can leave, and the warden says yes.
And then I leave?
Yeah, that's it. Not a very interesting story. So this is the kind of picture you shouldn't be doing.
I'm in.
What'd you say?
I said I'm in.
I'm gonna let that one slide, Nick, but your reputation is at stake. You have to be a little bit more discerning.
I like being in movies, Gary.
I know that you do, but you have to say no to some of them. Like this new one where the hero is a Nazi who can only speak in adverbs.
Let's do it.
Wait, no, Nick, come on. Now I want you to think hard about this, okay? You'd be playing Superman.
I love it.
Let me finish. Superman's cat. You'd be playing Superman's cat.
I love it, Gary.
And everyone.
Superman's cat. He famously takes every role imaginable so he could pay off the debts he's acquired from all his stupid spending on things like dinosaur skulls and remote castles. Listen, if spending money on dinosaur skulls is dumb, then I must be the dumbest man on earth. Every cent that I have made from YouTube went straight into my dinosaur skull collection, so respect to Nicolas Cage. But yeah, he's been in a lot of really bad movies, and in my opinion, he's a pretty bad actor, and yet somehow he has had this like multi-decade long career where he's made like zillions and zillions of dollars. You know, Dark Throne is, I'd say that's like predictable but okay taste. Satyricon, it depends what era of Satyricon we're talking about. If we're talking about whether that's good or bad taste, I would say late period Satyricon is pretty bad. Early Satyricon, decent. But I'm going to say overall, I think his taste is kind of sus, and he's been in a lot of bad movies. So I'm going to put him there. I'm going to say not great taste and not great work. That's what I think. But seems like a lovely guy. Okay, now how about your girl, Margot Robbie? She does love metal. She has talked about metal many times. Many times. And not just, she talked about Slipknot once and people freaked out. But this one, I love this exchange.
Margo, were you a goth?
Yes, I definitely had my, I don't know if I was full goth, very emo though.
Okay.
And I
listen to the, you know that she's real because he asked her, were you a goth? And she said, well, I don't know if I was goth, more like emo. So this is how you know that she's a real dork. She's splitting hairs between goth and emo. That's legit. That's like if your mom calls a band Screamo and you're like, oh, Mom, it's not Screamo, it's post-hardcore. That's how you know someone's a real nerd. And if they're the kind of dork that argues with you about the differences between goth and emo, I think they're legit.
Like only heavy metal music, and I would dye my hair black and only cut it with a razor blade.
Yeah, she seemed offended by goth. That's right, and that's how you know that she's a real rocker.
So yeah, I kind of got.
Does anyone like heavy metal music? Was that something you genuinely liked?
I don't know who this person is, so she said, "Does anyone like heavy metal music? Is that something you genuinely liked?" I love her apparently sincere reaction of well, what, do you actually like that? What? Oh, that's Kate Blanchett. Okay. Yeah. Nani? You actually like that? Yeah, it sounds like my mom. Exactly. You like those awful sounds coming out of the speaker? You enjoy that?
Genuinely, and I still genuinely like it. Yeah.
Do you like monster trucks and things like that?
No.
Do you like monster
That
trucks?
kind of thing.
Just, no, I really like it. Like, I remember, I'd go to, I remember going to the Slipknot concert, and the most I've ever been, at the time I was on Neighbours, I have never had more people come up to me ever than at a Slipknot concert.
Interesting. Well, yeah, probably because she's the most attractive human being to ever set foot within like 1,000 yards of Slipknot. That's probably why. I haven't actually seen a lot of Margot Robbie's movies, but she seems like a cool person. And, you know, I would say like, seems to have okay taste. You know, Slipknot's a good band. Hard to go wrong with Slipknot. She seems like a nice person. So I'm going to put her up here with Jim Carrey. And she's definitely invited to the barbecue. But I'll put her there. Oh, Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, that was a great movie. That was a great one. I haven't seen Barbie, but I've heard that's good too. So yeah, we'll say, yeah, respect to Margot Robbie. Now, next up, of course, you know that I can't do this without talking about your friend and mine, Demi Lovato. Classic clip from 9 years ago. Her talking about metal bands. Says Demi Lovato talks metal music with Robert Herrera.
Tears out of you today.
Let's hear what she has to say.
Now, I want to take you back to earlier. Do you remember Sons of Maylene?
Oh, this goddamn poser. He said, do you remember Sons of Maylene? He's trying to impress Demi with his metal credentials. Not only does he have bad posture, but he fucking outed himself as a poser by calling them Sons of Maylene. And then look at her. Just look at, she's like glaring at him like, you fucking piece of shit. How fucking dare you? You can tell she just wants to stab him right in his fucking beady little eyes.
Maylene and Sons of Disaster. There we go.
Yeah.
What was it about them that you really enjoyed?
The southern rock element that they had to their band.
The band sucks, just to be clear. They're terrible. But that's real Scene Kid hours right here.
I still listen to them to this day.
Okay.
There's just this. Why do you ask?
I'm just curious. I grew up with Warped Tour and all that.
You grew up with Warped Tour and you can't even say their goddamn name right. How dare you, Robert? How dare you?
Actually at the Glass House show when you were there.
Really?
Yes,
That's
but
so
I didn't know
fun.
who you were.
Yeah, I know. They really are one of my favorite bands of all time because they have that southern rock, but like kind of like metal sound to them. So
That's right. Why do you ask? She smells the gatekeeping. That's right. She's the real gatekeeper here.
yeah, I love them.
So what other type of music like that do you listen to that nobody would ever, think of?
One band that I always go back to, and I haven't listened to stuff in a while, like that type of music, but Job for a Cowboy.
Oh, wow. You're taking it metal.
Yeah, Bring Me the Horizon. And but I also used to listen to The Academy Is. I was like obsessed with them.
There we go. So real Scene Kid hours right there. And you guys know I'm legitimately a fan of Demi Lovato. Before I knew any of this stuff, I just think she's one of the best pop singers of the past 20 years. She's awesome. Seems like a cool person. Obviously, she's had some troubles, but she seems like a nice person. And I'm going to put her up here. I think she has great taste in metal. Seems like a cool person. And I think she does fantastic work. Love her music. So that's where Demi goes. Top right. Next up, we have this guy. I don't know how to say his name. Joko Widodo, the president of Indonesia, who loves napalm death. For real. A former furniture salesman, Metallica lover, and wearer of Napalm Death t-shirts, Jokowi is from a small town in the center of Java, Indonesia's biggest island of 141 million people. The island has as many people as Russia. A lot of people don't know this about Indonesia. It is, I think, the 5th biggest country in the world. And I don't know too much about him as a president. I know that they executed a lot of drug dealers under his watch. That's a little sketchy. Probably don't want to do that. So I can't speak to his work as a legislator. But I'd say, napalm death, that's pretty legit, for like a president of the 5th largest country in the world to listen to napalm death is pretty legit. So yeah, I can't comment on him as a legislator, but I can say that he is a confirmed Napalm Death fan. That's pretty legit. I'll go neutral on him because I don't know anything about. I don't want to accidentally endorse someone who it turns out is a piece of shit. So I'll go neutral on the quality of his work because I don't know. But I will say that I think he has pretty good taste. So we'll put it there. Napalm Death. It's legit. Napalm Death is also the name of his drug dealer sentencing program. Indonesia specifically has the biggest slam metal scene aside from Eastern Europe. Yeah, that's true. There's been a big slam scene in Indonesia for a long time. Lots of punk bands. So I mean, I don't know that much about it, but I know the Indonesian scene is like very active. So I guess, metal's doing well on his watch. So I don't know. I guess he's legit. Another interesting one. I did not know this. I was very, very, very surprised to find this one out, which is Prince Harry. Do you guys know Prince Harry apparently likes Power Trip and Municipal Waste? According to The Guardian, both are showing up together in a Guardian article talking about who will play the royal wedding, which seems a little insane. According to the article, Prince Harry is into music like Power Trip and Municipal Waste. He used to like dubstep. He was well excited when he was introduced to Scream. He put his hand out and said, "Hello, Scream, nice one." When the actor Dominic West joined Harry on a charity walk, he reckoned that he was more into Power Trip. Harry has a terrible selection on his iPod. Hardcore thrash metal. Could Municipal Waste finally get into the royal wedding invite they've so clearly been angling for all this time? I don't know. But apparently he likes them. First question to ask is, how do we even evaluate the quality of his work? Because what does he actually do? I mean, he's just like a royal, so I don't think he actually does anything, right? Other than him and Meghan Markle got some podcast deal from Spotify for way too much money to basically just bitch about the royal family, right? I don't think they actually do anything. Respect for wifing Meghan Markle. She seems like an unbearable person, but she's definitely easy on the eyes. He fought in Iraq. That's true. That's true. I'm going to say bad work. And that's right. And he's not even a royal anymore. So he seems like kind of a turd, and so does she, to be honest. The royal family also sucks, but just nothing about it. I'm not into it. As far as his taste level, Power Trip is a good band. Municipal Waste is okay, but I feel like both of those bands are kind of like metal for people who don't like metal. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I think. It's thrash for people who don't like thrash. And I don't like him. So I'm going to put him in the same bucket here. Bad taste, bad work. That's my opinion. That's what I think. How about this guy, Kristian Nairn, who apparently played this guy, Hodor from Game of Thrones. I have never actually seen Game of Thrones, so I can't really comment on his role on the show. But here's what I know. I tried to watch the first episode of Game of Thrones a couple times, and I couldn't finish it. I hear that there's a lot of wieners on the show. Can anyone confirm if that's true? A lot of wieners on the show? I'm going to have to turn in my white people card now. Well, that's true, but I do love Breaking Bad and The Wire, which I feel like is a very white thing to do. So can I have my white guy card back because I love those? There's more wieners than boobs? Okay, well, that makes me think the show is good, because if there's one thing I would like to see more of in entertainment, it's penises. Full frontal male nudity. I have not watched the show, though, so everyone says it's great. I don't know. You guys tell me, is he good on the show? Everyone loves Game of Thrones. I see here he's hanging out with Megadeth. Let's check it out. Apparently this is Hodor from Game of Thrones jams Holy Wars with Megadeth. I love this song. The only good Megadeth song. I like how he's so enormous that this looks like a toy guitar. When you go to the fair, they have those scam games where you have to shoot at targets or whatever. And if you spend $30 to win their fucking bullshit rigged game, one of the prizes is an inflatable guitar that's this big. He makes this full-size Ibanez look like one of those tiny little toy guitars. God, his hands are probably the size of my head. I see here he's jamming with the whole band. Right here, we see Dave Ellefson. So he got to be in the same room as the guy who got kicked out of Megadeth for jerking it on webcam. Did you guys ever see that footage, by the way? I gotta say, Dave Ellefson, he was like 54 at the time or something. Number one, a solid wiener and a really big money shot. Very impressive. It's on Twitter. Big money shot. For a guy his age to, produce that kind of volume, I say respect. I'm impressed. Yeah, shooting ropes, exactly. So this Hodor apparently is a DJ too. I don't know anything about Game of Thrones, but if you guys say that he's good on the show, I'll take your word for it. So we'll say good work, but unfortunately, bad taste, because Megadeth is perhaps the most overrated, most entry-level band in all of metal. So he seems like a cool guy, but unfortunately, he's condemned to the upper left quadrant because he likes Megadeth, and Megadeth, not good. Sorry, people, not good. How about this fella? This guy, Mike Piazza. I don't know anything about him other than he's a baseball player. I remember that he existed at some point. That's all I know. I know nothing about baseball because I'm only 45 years old. I'm pretty sure the average baseball fan at this point has to be like 70. Baseball is the most boring fucking sport. It's like, if you want to watch a bunch of overweight 40-year-old guys jog around the bases, then baseball's the sport for you. I remember this guy's name. That's all I know. So I have no idea. Is he good? Does anybody know? Oh, am I on here? Let's see. Oh, I am on here. Wow, look at that. I have a profile on Metal Archives. Okay, a Hall of Fame catcher, did some roids but got away with it. Yeah, but everyone was doing roids there. If he's a Hall of Fame catcher, then he's great. So he did a couple guest appearances on Black Label Society. So he is officially the only MLB player to have a page on Metal Archives. Respect for that. And also respect to me for having a page on Metal Archives. Respect. Very legit on my part to be on Metal Archives. I'll just go ahead and say that he is indeed good at his job. And does he have good taste? Well, let's be honest. Black Label Society, not the best band in the world. Okay? We'll say good work, not the best taste. That's what I think. Respect to Zach, but not the best band in the world. Okay, and last but not least, how about Josh Barnett? You may know him from the UFC. He was the youngest heavyweight champ of all time in the UFC. I think he won his first belt back in 1997 or something like that when he was 24. His nickname is the War Master. He is indeed named after the Bolt Thrower album. That's about as legit as it gets. He lists his top 10 albums that changed his life. So he's got Iron Maiden, entry level, but okay. Bolt Thrower, very legit. Megadeth, sucks. Slayer, great. Sepultura, Arise. See, he likes the good era of Sepultura before they turn into groove metal and nu metal. The man knows his shit. He says Arise is the best Sepultura album. Black Sabbath, Danzig, Amon Amarth, Metallica. I think his taste is legit, and he was a damn good fighter too. Fought in Japan quite a bit too. Damn good. He was a champ at one point, so I think respect to Josh, and he is from Washington as well. Yeah, seems like a cool guy to me. So I think he has easily earned his spot up here on the upper right of good taste and good work. So respect to Josh Barnett. Yeah, the best catch wrestler style in MMA. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't like Bolt Thrower either, but it's legit. It's legit, right? If you took your nickname from Bolt Thrower song, I can't hate on that. So that's what I think. That does it for this edition of Ranking Celebrity Metalheads. Now, someone go find out if this guy from Indonesia watches my videos. I feel like there's a non-zero probability that he might know who I am. Let's find out. See if I can get an audience with the president of Indonesia. There's more wieners than boobs? Okay, well that makes me think the show is good.